Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224, that's on cable, channel 112, that's on Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios. But wherever you are deciding to listen to us on this rainy Thursday, thank you for listening to us on Freedom March. Today, the rain has begun, and while I know that it has only just begun, you know the way I feel on rainy days, all save woman should cook some soup. And so, I've been watching that cloud build out there for the last 5 hours. If my grandmother was still alive, she would have began soaking the peas 4.5 hours ago. And so if you are a save woman and you are at home, you should have by now began soaking peas. And by about 8:30 this evening, we could have a decent pot of soup fully boiling. Needless to say, as regular, the spiritual advisor extraordinary and plenipotentiary, the spiritual advisor for the whole Bahamas, Bradley Roll, is with me. Hello, Bradley.
Good
Welcome to
afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, Levan. Good to be here, indeed. It's great to be here.
It's a good rainy Thursday.
Yeah, it's a lot. I can hear it on the rooftop.
It sounds like thunder and lightning.
It's really frightening.
And all.
Makes you want to knock on wood.
Wow, I've never thought about that actually.
It's on and off, same like. It's heavy light, but it's good.
That's plenty rain, no doubt.
Yeah.
No, that's so as you move about, because I know you all are about to start getting off and start, making your sojourns home or to the places that you congregate, do so with extreme caution and care, eh? Right?
Indeed.
Because the life you save might just be
Your
your
very
own.
own.
And so, you ought to be guided by that. And if you are a saved woman, Bradley, what should you go and do?
Get some soup prepared.
Soak peas.
Okay, peas. What else you want?
You have to soak some peas. You have to start boiling. So you start soaking the peas and you start boiling the salt beef the same
Salt
time.
beef.
Because the salt beef need but 4 hours way to boil it.
What about the ham?
You gotta put some ham in there. The ham don't require as much boiling. The ham could take one little boil and a half.
What about the ribs?
The spare rib. You gotta put spare rib, my grammy say. Spare rib need a little boiling too. Alright? Got a little conch. I prefer fresh conch, but if you got dry conch, we'll go with that. And you now begin to go and send for your 3-pound bag of flour, because you need about 3 pounds of flour for the soup to make some sense.
Yeah, indeed.
Sweet potato, that's what I like in mine. Don't move. Freedom March will be right back after this break, okay? Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levin Miller. And of course, as always, Bradley Rowan, spiritual advisor, extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is here with me. Bradley, what does the Holy Scripture have for us?
Well, we got an interesting debate today. Well, a small little chat. And I do hope that I do have some sort of, what you say? Bradley Rowan is the what? Spiritual advisor.
Extraordinary and plenipotentiary.
So I have potential.
It means that you have executive power.
All right. So here's what we're going to do that. And I just hope that folks get this clearly and that I'm not misunderstood or left hanging. If you're thinking I'm saying something I'm not saying. So I want to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7. We're going to look at marriage and sex.
Wow. You're talking about sex today?
Yeah.
I'm from the Church of God.
Contained within the marriage covenant, though. We're not talking about sex outside of marriage.
Sex in the Church of God. But keep going.
No? So here's what I'm going to do. All right? We need to figure out, as it relates to the covenant of marriage, if it's between a man and a woman or the same sex. Figure out what the Bible says about that. And then we want to figure out, once you decide to commit to marriage, based on the Judeo-Christian perspective from Old and New Testament, once you commit to it, as far as sex is concerned, do you have an obligation for sex? Or is it when I want to or when I feel like? We're going to look at the parameters and the rules of marriage based on the Word of God and see what it has to say. And then we want to look at whether or not sex is an obligation. Is it a part of the marriage covenant, and do you have an obligation to perform those duties within the marriage? That's what we'll look at. Because then there is some who think that there's a word used in the King James Version, defraud. They think that means that you actually can have sex if you feel like it. And if you don't feel like it, then there should be no coercion or whatever.
But should you be having obligatory sex?
We can find out.
Wow. I wouldn't want somebody to give me obligatory sex.
Well, we'll see if you have an obligation to, or if it's just a wide open field where, hey, if I want to, that's fine. If I don't,
you can imagine getting hair man underneath. You ever get any hair man underneath? I would absolutely hate that.
Right. So let's look at the biblical view of the rules concerning marriage, and the Apostle Paul addressed it to the church of Corinth. And here's what he says. Let's see if we can try to understand this, because there's some who think that you stretch these words and you have this view that's not there, and you interpret the scripture in the incorrect way. But what we're going to do is we're going to allow the scripture to interpret itself. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1 through 7, they wrote a letter to the Apostle Paul about marriage and sex. And here's what he has to say. Because of the circumstances at the time. He says, now for the matters that you wrote about, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. It's fine. But since sexual immorality is occurring, and that's the church wants to stamp that out, sexual immorality, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife and each wife with her own husband. Here's the point. The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. Why? The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. Now, is that something I'm making up? It says the wife does not have authority over her own body, but she yields it to her husband. Within the marriage covenant, the wife has an obligation to fulfill that marital duty, which is sex, to the husband. When she yields up that authority, it means that she should not have sex with anybody else other than her husband, because she's made that a commitment. And in the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but he actually yields that. The word yield, you see this word yield normally at the roundabout. It means to give way. You give that authority to your wife. In verse number 5, it says, do not deprive each other. Deprive each other of what? The context there is dealing with sex. Do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent. Obviously, if there's not going to be any sex, both of you will have to agree to this. It has to be mutual consent. And then he gives a reason. It says for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Then he says, then come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Tempt you of what? Obviously, if you withhold sex from each other, something is going to happen, and it happens all the time. The third man or woman, who is Satan, will tempt you, and you never know where it's going to go. Say this as now he's going to talk about this gift that he has. I say this as a concession, not as a command. I wish that all men, that all of you was as I am, but each of you have your own gift from God. One has this gift, and another has that. Here's my point. There are considerations in the marriage covenant that man and woman should be aware of. And the Bible specifically says that husbands in particular are to be considerate as they live with their wives and to treat them with respect. I mean, can you say no? Yeah, man. There are many times when the wife doesn't feel like it, and I do believe that this is the time when the husband is considerate and decides, well, honey, you know, you're tired. I know you got to catch yourself. You just came from work or whatever have you. And we're just going to relax. And maybe tonight it'll go by and tomorrow. But the reality is you're not supposed to deprive each other of that marriage covenant agreement, which is that you give each other your body based on the covenant. I hope I'm not misunderstood. But this passage is very plain. I should have stopped at verse number 6 or verse number 5. But the point I'm making is this. Sex is a marital agreement. It is a part of the covenant. And when you become one, it is a part of the covenant itself. You have an obligation to, based on the covenant, to satisfy the sexual appetite of both partners, because you give up that right to your body to this woman, and likewise the woman to the husband. So it means essentially that once you decide to get married, that you cannot have sex, or you shouldn't, with anybody else other than the person that is in this covenant relationship. Is there considerations? Yes. The husband is considered the wife. But the Bible is very specific about the consideration, and it specifically says that you're not to withhold it from each other. And if you do,
we should agree. And it should be for a time of prayer. There's something in there that stands out to me, though. Put the scripture back up.
And not only that,
put the scripture back up.
If you continuously withhold this duty of sex from one another, the third man or woman, which is Satan, can tempt you. Tempt you with what? That's the key question. Obviously, if you don't fulfill your duty, then something is going to happen. Satan's going to get in there, and then he uses this term, lack of self-control. There are some people, after a week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month.
But Paul gives this as general advice.
Yeah. But it is engraved in stone, and it is a law in marriage.
But he says, put the scripture back up.
Now, when it talks about, I wish that all men were like I am.
Let's go before that. I say this as a concession.
What is it?
Then come together again so that Satan will not tempt you because you lack self-control. I say this as a concession.
And not as a command.
Not as a command.
What is it? What is he saying exactly?
That
then the following verse says, I wish that all of you was like I am.
Because I wish you all was the same as me.
No.
I even ain't want no sex.
No,
so Paul had no wife?
Yeah, the word is
Paul had no
that.
wife?
It could mean that he's saying that
I need no sex.
Either he was
I need no sex.
Or that he didn't have to have sexual relations
but
with
isn't this the second time that Paul has alluded that he don't need sex? Because didn't he also said, brethren, I wish that all could be like me. However, to flee from fornication. Isn't that what Paul said?
Yeah, that reminds us.
Right, and so Paul suggests that sex, I finish with them type of things, right?
I guess Paul, because of his commitment,
Paul said he was sold to the church.
Yeah, he was sold out, right?
Right.
Now, when he says, I wish that all men were I am, I mean, he says, I say this as a concession and not as a command.
Not as a command.
What is it that he's saying?
But because
that
Paul,
he wished that people...
No, because Paul had given...
Men could abstain from sexual relations
with a
woman like he was.
No. Paul said, I'm giving you this concession is an admonition. I'm giving you this as an admonition.
What is a concession?
It is an admonition. I'm admonishing you that this is the best practice.
And what is it?
To not hold yourselves from your marital obligation of sex.
No, he obviously, when you look at it, he says, listen, I say this
as a concession.
Command and not
as a concession.
What was it? What was it? He says, I wish that all men...
No.
So he is saying, listen.
In the end, he says, I wouldn't even concess if you all was as good as me and didn't need no sex.
See,
but because I know you all need sex.
That's the problem right there.
But Paul has on more than one occasion tell the church that only him one don't need sex. The rest of you all need it.
I don't know.
But I want to go to something more specific, right? Because when Paul gave the instructions for how a man should become a bishop, that was specific.
1 Timothy chapter 3.
That's Corinthians.
1 Timothy.
That's Corinthians. If a man desires an office of the bishop.
1 Timothy, that is. It's not in Corinthians. No, it's not. It's not Corinthians.
All right, well, you find it.
It's 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. Pull it up. 1 Timothy chapter 3.
Let's see. If a man desires
the office of bishop. 1 Timothy chapter 3. It's not in Corinthians.
Anyway, but that is a very specific command. Go back.
1 Timothy chapter 3.
Hold on, we can get it. Go back to the scripture. Take me to verse 1, 2, and 3, because there's also something very interesting in here that I had never seen before. That's why I like these little Bible spots with the spiritual advisor, because I'd never seen this.
What is that?
I'd never seen this. It is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. But...
What does he mean by that?
Listen. But since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife. And each woman
with
her own husband.
Right.
The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband.
What's that marital duty?
So the question for me in this becomes, right, when Paul says that each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, right, and each wife with her own husband, the question then becomes is, why does he need to say the word husband or wife and then apply an ownership? Because a husband only could have one wife, or only could have the wives that belong to him. And the wife could only have the husband that belongs to her.
Okay,
so why did Paul need to specify that you should have the sex with your own husband, as if any other husband would belong to you?
No. Because what happened, there was so much sexual morality where people were hop, skipping, and jumping, hop, skipping, and jumping.
The boy was having sex with his daddy wife.
So this here, what this does, just clear things up to get you to understand that this sexual relationship is between you and your wife only, and not between you and this wife and this woman and the next woman and the next woman and the next woman. Because what happens is that sexual morality was completely prevalent in the Church of Corinth at the time, which was Sin City. So he kind of like narrowed it down, get you to understand, listen, when you're having sex, you got to have it with your own wife. You can't be jumping here, there, and everywhere.
But unless
you're trying to get rid of sexual morality.
The person you married, then it can't be considered a husband. It can't be considered a wife.
But the point, though, is that there was so much sexual morality going on that the Apostle Paul had to write to churches, listen, this isn't a free-for-all.
Right.
You only are supposed to have sex in the covenant with the person you are in with, and that is your wife and your husband. So he says, but since sexual morality is occurring, each man should have sexual relations with his own wife, which means, come on, man, you just can't be every Jane,
Yeah, but if you
Sally,
have sex
and
with a
Doe.
woman that you're not married with, that's not your wife. Why would Paul need to explicitly
because he wants the church to be a pure entity, and he's trying to get them to avoid sexual immorality.
Wow.
That's the whole point about writing this letter. Don't forget now, you know who he wrote this letter to? He wrote this letter to a church.
The Church of Corinth.
It was in Corinth. Do you know what Corinth really was?
Tell me.
It was Sin City.
Was it?
Everything that you could think about was going on in Corinth.
I know the boy was having relations with the
yeah,
daddy.
1 Corinthians chapter 5. There's 2 chapters earlier.
And Paul say, we got to cut this out.
And so the church was converted out of the height of heathenism and paganism.
Okay.
And so the Apostle Paul wanted the church to stay in a particular direction. And so when they wrote back to him, he wrote to them and said, listen, this is the way it is supposed to be done. Stamping out sexual morality. That's the whole purpose of the letter.
So Paul doubled down in his letter that the wife had to be the one you own, not just our wife, your wife.
This is your woman. You having sex with her?
Would she be, Paul?
Yeah, well, don't forget now, not every woman is your wife. But in Corinth, they used to have orgies. That's the point. Man, come on, man.
Wow.
Corinth was live and direct.
And that's what I wanted to know. Why did Paul need to be so specific about who
They was just jumping here, there, here and there, here and there, here and there, here and there.
Because Paul, unless I marry her, she ain't a wife. She's just a woman to me.
But
I just wanted to understand what was the importance of the Bible jumping from woman to wife and man to husband.
Yeah,
because husband has a specific meaning, right? Which is the thing I was going to point out. Intimacy, right? Because so the point I'm making to you is that these offices have gender specificity to them. A husband cannot be a woman.
No. A wife can't be a man.
Cannot be a man.
And so
that was the point I was making.
Right. And then when you go to 1 Timothy chapter 3, a bishop cannot be a woman.
Correct. That's the point I want. That was the point I was trying to correlate.
Bishop cannot be a woman.
And those were instructions.
Yeah.
And so Paul tells the church when he's given a concession, but he also says very specifically when this isn't a suggestion. I'm not writing you this as a suggestion because when he writes suggestions, he says so.
Yeah, but the point though is that he was able to abstain from sexual relationship with a woman because he was committed solely to the gospel. Right. But if you're not solely committed to the gospel, then here's the rule for you. You gotta have sex with your own woman.
That's the point I'm making. When you consider the fact that Paul himself had said in his letters that this is a concession and not as a command, and you consider what he wrote to Timothy, was not a concession. This was the command.
No, we can't do that.
A woman cannot be a bishop. Anyway, we go into the break. Don't move. Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Leland Miller. Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor, is in studio with me. And we was discussing the Apostle Paul, who's one of my favorite people to discuss, Bradley, by the way.
The Apostle Paul.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Who is responsible, what is it, for 2/3 of the New Testament?
Well, he was...
Quite a bit of it.
He wrote most of it.
Yeah.
He wrote...
Yeah, and I like it. I love it. It's perfect, actually.
The letters in particular.
All of the letters. So every book that is named after a place Paul, right?
Ephesus, Corinth,
Philippi,
Galatia.
Galatia.
Now, the book of Hebrews, it's a toss-up. Most biblical scholars will tell you they don't know for sure it was him. But when you look at the style, the writing, you can see where there's a possibility that you could credit him for the book of Hebrews.
Yeah.
He didn't write Revelation.
No.
And he didn't write Jude.
Right, because Jude is named after the author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did, and I don't think he...
I don't think he wrote... He didn't write
he,
2nd, 3rd John either.
I don't think he wrote 1st and 2nd Peter either.
Right.
But the other ones, yeah.
They're all
he didn't write any of the Gospels.
No.
And he did not write the book of Acts. The same person who wrote the book of Luke wrote the book of Acts.
The book of Acts,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
notwithstanding that, Paul is not a great speaker, not a great speaker.
No.
But a prolific writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I see that the BCPOU has had a wonderful time today, signing what I think is the 53rd industrial agreement since this Progressive Liberal Party has taken office. And if you consider the fact that they've been in office for 4 years, that's approximately 11 industrial agreements a year. That's not bad.
Okay, so
the question becomes, what would the TUC be making noise about? That's the question I have. And if the Ministry of Labor is responding to unions and union agreements the way they are, right? Then why aren't they responding to OB? Except OB's time might just be spent. And maybe he's just frantic and is grappling for relevance and can't believe that he has a minister that is such a high-performing minister, so he has to go boo-hoo in order for people to feel like he still has some relevance. It is interesting to me that there are only 2 union leaders that continue to make the news every week about grievances, even when their grievances make no sense.
And those 2 are?
You already know? Take a guess.
Those 2 are...
Even Belinda Ian Rowan. You thought about that?
Yeah.
And Belinda then case everybody from Jerome Fitzgerald to Glennis Anamat. Who was after Jerome? Jerome was Minister of Education. After Jerome, who was
then, I believe...
She cased Thomas Desmond Bannister when he was Minister of Education.
Jeff Lloyd may have been...
She cased Jeff Lloyd as Minister of Education. And so she has been such an interesting piece in the union goings on in this country that, remember, Hubert Ingram referred to her as belligerent Belinda. You remember that?
You did?
Yeah, on the rally stage.
Was he right?
I'm neither here nor there on it. What I'm saying is, obviously, as Prime Minister, he thought that she was a cantankerous person, right? I think the English word is pugnacious, right?
Yeah, explain these words now.
Look at the word. Put the word pugnacious on the TV.
I'm reminded by some folks that they recognize that you are intelligent, man.
I'm not trying to be intelligent. Right. I'm just telling you my brain thinks about English words.
And there's some big words that you use. If you could just break them down for me.
Sure. We could put up the word pugnacious on the TV, right? And
for the layman.
Yeah. But I'm not trying to have conversation above their head. I'm just telling you, if I think about the sentence, this is the English word that would describe the behavior that I think they were accusing her of, right?
Pugnacious.
Pugnacious,
Which
right?
Which means what? What's it mean? Producer, the thing for me to, to do the, yeah.
Yeah, so even Belinda Ian Rowan.
Well, these guys have it bad.
I just think Obi he's spent. And the only other union president that makes noise, even when it makes no sense in my mind, is Kingsley Ferguson.
Okay, pugnacious. Here you go, quick thought.
Sounds appropriate? That's what Ingram called the woman, not me.
I ain't getting in that.
Ingram called the woman belligerent. Right?
What does belligerent mean, producer?
Right? And so, the thing I'm trying to get you to understand is, obviously, whatever the Honorable Pierre Glover Role is doing must be working. COB union ain't rallying up. The doctors union ain't rallying up. The nurses union ain't rallying up.
So what do we do with this man?
Retire him.
Okay. So the call for his retirement.
No,
you have to go. You have to go, my brother.
Call for an early election.
How old is he?
I know, but it may not be an age issue because as old as Brave is, I think Brave doing all right. As a matter of fact, I think Brave doing too much, if you ask me. Because the Prime Minister gone the other day to Tower Water Tower, and I could tell you now at 75 years old, I wasn't climbing all the way up there.
Okay.
What would I be doing up there at 75?
I'll be live on Facebook.
With a sciatic nerve, with a bad sciatic nerve.
Yeah.
I'm not climbing up that stairs. I tell you, I watched the Prime Minister when we were in Cat Island. You know, the Prime Minister came to Cat Island, left Cat Island. I think he flew to Exuma, flew back from Exuma, back to Cat. I wouldn't be doing all that at 74. You all would need to just.
But he's doing it.
And apparently he's doing it without a stutter step, it appears. Right? So I'm not going to use an ageist argument against Obi and say that he's too old. What I am going to say is, I don't know if he's still relevant. He may not have
the mental
good legs left. And so he's grappling for relevance and saying silly things like he wants to shut down the airport. Right? And everybody in the world knows that that simply makes no sense.
Okay.
All right? So here's what happened today over by the BCPOU, not the BCPOU, what are they called? The Bahamas Broadcasting Corporation. They signed their agreement, which is the 53rd agreement signed in 4 years. That is unheard of. Right? So let's go to the clip. BCPOU, and they get all kind of things.
What's the
maternal benefit, maternal extension, the same things that I hear Kingsley Ferguson casing with the government for. The government tell Kingsley they won't give the people more money. Kingsley protests and say the union was blindsided.
Yeah, well, he says arguments they weren't consulted.
I need to ask you to give the people more money?
I don't know. There must be a reason why. I guess. I don't know. But let's see.
Then the government say we won't pay the people, rather than make them wait 28 days on their salary, we won't pay them half at the 15-day mark and another half at the 28-day mark. Kingsley case of the government again. I can't understand why. That makes perfect sense. But apparently, these two unions, I'm not sure what the issue is, they appear to just want to be cantankerous. Or, what the word is?
Pugnacious.
Yes. And I have a difficulty with that.
All right. So let's see.
So let's go to the clip from the Bahamas Broadcasting Corporation and listen to the wonderful benefits that these people get. And yet, we have the TUC out there saying scatterbrain nonsense like they want to shut down the airport. Let's go to the clip.
Well, a major milestone for workers at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas today, the signing of a new industrial agreement for members of the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, the deal covering some 76 employees, bringing with it significant upgrades from salary increases to expanded leave benefits. Our Delano Roker has the details tonight.
At a time when the National Tripartite Council and the Ministry of Labor are weighing sweeping labor reforms, including extended maternity benefits, ZNS employees are getting a head start. The new agreement goes beyond talk, delivering real change, an extra week of maternity leave, bringing the total to 13 weeks, a 10-day paternity leave for fathers, and a 6% salary increase across the board. The package also includes salary alignments and, for the first time, performance-based increments. ZNS Executive Chairman Paisel Forbes praised the deal, calling it a blueprint that prioritizes workers' well-being with a strong emphasis on health.
Going forward, we have to now look at the new realities we are facing when it comes to healthcare in our country. We'll have to go to the contributory 80-20% of them going forward here at the corporation, because the reality is that healthcare is a major cost to us. Meal allowances will be increased. On-call allowances will see some increase. So is subsistence allowance, shift premium for those who work those evening shifts will also get a couple more dollars. And also sick leave is also going to be increased in this new contract that we are signing.
Union President Sherry Benjamin welcomed the agreement, pointing to new provisions that place mental health front and center.
One thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that BCP would have included the mental health days inside of the industrial agreement. And why I say that is because, especially for our media personalities, those persons who would go out there, the reporters, the cameramen who would go out there on those graphic murder scenes and accident scenes and stuff like that, they are the ones who we are really, really looking at to take those resets where they are able to get themselves together, compose themselves, and come back to work and start all over again. And so I am happy that we were able to get that mental health 5 days in for those staff, for all of the staff at ZNS, but especially for the reporters and staff.
And Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, Miles Laroda, said the agreement underscores the government's commitment to building a stronger, more equipped workforce across the country.
While we are faced with this reality, the pie only have so many slices.
And so, like you can see, the BCPOU apparently has reached a phenomenal agreement with the Ministry of Labor. They come under the NCTUB, which is not the TUC, right? But this is obviously a union-friendly administration. Let's go to the clip from the Office of the Prime Minister and see what the Office of the Prime Minister had to say with regards to this recent negotiation that includes things like mental health days, expanded maternity leave, added paternity leave. You know what I mean? You get to stay home with the baby too,
Yeah.
Spiritual?
The man, yeah.
Yeah. It is groundbreaking negotiations that they're having over there at the Bahamas Broadcasting Corporation, right?
Right.
So tell me how come the TUC somehow just keep acting like someone's splashing them with hot water?
Why don't we do this? Well, is it possible for us to invite them to call us so we can speak to
They
them?
could call me. I ain't scared to talk to them.
Okay.
Let's go to the release from the Office of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister's office, the Office of the Prime Minister, released today in a statement. From day one, my administration made a commitment to stand with workers and to make sure their voices are heard at the table. Today, with the signing of the 58th industrial agreement in 4 years, we are keeping that commitment. This agreement was signed with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas and the Bahamas Communication and Public Officers Union. I thank Minister Miles Laroda, Executive Chairman Paiswell Forbes, General Manager Clint Watson, BCPOU President Sherry Benjamin, and the executives of ZNS for their leadership and partnership in bringing this agreement to a close. I also want to thank the leadership of Minister Pia Clover Roll, who has been one of the most successful ministers of labor in our country's history, ensuring that workers remain at the heart of government policy. What this means is simple. Bahamian workers have a government that is prepared to sit down, negotiate in good faith, and reach agreements that provide fair pay, better conditions, and security for their families. Not every negotiation has been easy, but every step of the way, we have shown that progress is possible when government and unions come together to work things out. That is how change happens, through respect, dialogue, and action. This is what leadership looks like: protecting the rights of workers, delivering real improvements in people's lives, and proving that government can work for the people. My administration will keep showing up for Bahamian workers, because when they succeed, the Bahamas succeeds. And so I stand corrected, not 53, spiritual advisor, 58.
So what's the problem?
What could the TUC's problem possibly
All right, so
be?
what are they saying?
And this is
Let's hear that side.
Let's don't speed past it. And in an administration that has had 58 negotiations agreed, the question for me becomes, what could be making you so mad as a union? You threaten the goose that lays the golden egg.
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I can't give it.
And so when I say take the market donkey into the pasture, I'm not coy about that statement. The president of the, give me the zoom in camera. The president of the TUC is off of his rockers. And at some point, the members of that union must decide whether or not he gets to continue as president. Because if a government, and just so you are aware, much of the agreement that we see happening between the government and these unions is as a result of an MOU that the TUC championed pre the election. And I wait for the PLP. As a matter of fact, I give them their job back the first day I had chance. And under no circumstance would I take another ministry job. As a matter of fact, I've said to you that I would volunteer for a digital sphincter exam 3 times a week before I ever go back in a government ministry. So I tote no brief for the PLP. I carry no water for the PLP. As a matter of fact, I am an FNA. So, I would need the TUC to explain to me what exactly is happening with them that would make them so irate that they would need to shut down the Lynden Pinland International Airport. When teachers are getting benefits, when nurses are getting benefits, when senior physicians are getting benefits, when junior physicians are getting benefits, when broadcasters are getting benefits and are getting things like extended maternity leave, added paternity leave, mental health days, increase in evening allowance, increase in lunch allowance. What could be making the TUC so irate that they don't want to go and protest in the front of the office of the Prime Minister? They don't want to go and protest in the front of the office of the Minister. They don't even want to shut down Bay Street, which I would happily tell them, please go and do, because, you know, sometimes you got to shut Bay Street down. I shut Bay Street down, right? You remember when Leon Bettelgonga locked me up for shutting down Bay Street? You remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I speak time, long time, you know. I want y'all to sleep on me. When Leon Bettel threatened to put me in jail, it was because I shut Bay Street down, me and the bus drivers there, right? Dion Delancey was there with me. Dion, if I lie in, you tell the people I lied. So if you want to shut Bay Street down, fine. But when you start saying silly things to me like you are going to blockade the airport and blockade the Paradise Island Bridge, I have to find out from you what exactly is... And I know you're going to say, but even when you just talked about this yesterday, it's because, yeah, I gone home yesterday and I foam out the mouth like a crab on the counter thinking about this nonsense. And as for why y'all keep letting Obi talk this foolishness, man, and printing it in the newspaper, I'm just behooved. I am behooved. And I'm left in a state of bewilderment that anybody with a brain in their head could think that this makes sense. And nobody has the gall to go to Obi and say, boy, Obi, I think you're losing it, you know. Because how do you explain, man? Do the maths on it for me. 58, divide 58 by 4, spiritual advisor. Right? What is that number?
Oh, give me a second.
If you divide 58 by 4, give me that number. You know his calculators take a little long. Mm-hmm. PTC, all do something with the spiritual advisor cell phone. He can't keep walking around
PTC is prejudice.
They ain't give me no phone either, so you don't have to give me prejudice.
54 divided by what?
58. Pia Glover role out here, healing the sick and raising the dead, and turning water into wine. So every year we doing 14 negotiations, 14 and a half.
14.5, yeah.
Divide that by 12.
14 and a half?
Yeah.
I think it wasn't like 1 and something, eh?
That means she doing 1.2 negotiations a month.
3, whatever.
I mean, every month from she come in office, she's been able to...
Listen, the only way to deal with this, you gotta get to these people. You're gonna have to call somebody.
Ain't nobody
invite them on the show.
How come
and have
ain't
a ballot
nobody
session.
ask Obi no question when they let him write 2 pages of foolishness in the newspaper?
Maybe
2 whole page.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand what what does that union want? And why do the members of that union continue to support such draconian behavior? It's just unbelievable to me.
Y'all have to do something to satisfy Levin, man. Y'all gotta get this right.
Yeah, put this president down. I had enough of him.
Why don't you call him? Do we have his number, producer?
What you want me to do? Obi! Yes, you want me to do?
Man, call him and
Obi!
have a conversation with him.
No, he ain't had no conversation with me. He just write this foolishness in the paper.
Oh.
So he write foolishness in the public domain, and I answering him in the public domain. How does that sound?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. The spiritual advisor, he could block the airport. Take me to which part of that...
I know it doesn't make sense.
Take me to which part of that school of thought makes sense.
Can he do it? Does he have a right to do it?
He can do whatever he wants. He's the president of the union. Mm-hmm. But for what purpose?
Well, they know why they elected him, to act on their behalf, so...
And he can't seem to get unelected. I won't fix that.
He's president for life?
Matter of fact, I think I might run against him for the TUC president. Because I had enough.
Why don't you do it?
I might. I might just find out what the criteria is to be elected as president of the TUC. Because I'm telling you that this man is losing it.
This is the same man we cursed yesterday? Well, you did.
Yes.
Oh, this is day 2. Oh.
I tell you, I had to go home. When I read this again in the newspaper, I surged like a white crab on the counter. You ever seen white crab on the counter? Because I can't, my brain tries to make sense of things, right? Mm-hmm. And then I saw the press release today from the office of the Prime Minister, and I said, well, Jesus, 50, I've never heard, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to open the phone line to the people, but I have never heard in my life of this many industrial agreements being agreed in no 1 minute. As a matter of fact, over the last 3 administrations, and I dare say 4, by the time as the government got to the 4-year mark, unions was burning the place to the ground. You remember that the physicians closed down the hospital on Dr. Minnis? You remember that?
Yeah.
By this time, in most administrations, unions just be burning the place to the ground. Think about this. I even ain't hear from Sloan them over by immigration. And which administration Sloan ain't had a problem with? So how come Obi keep having a problem? How is it? Point it out to me. And now the taxi people got a new president. I've not heard about this guy before now, but the question becomes, do the taxi drivers not owe it to themselves to evolve?
Well, I mean, naturally.
If business, let me ask you a question. Why Pookie still could take money from you with a gun if we have digital currency all across the Bahamas? If the sand dollar exists? If Wi-Fi boxes exist, and if digital, what you call the thing, the credit card thing is a digital machine.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I know a woman of the night who told me she takes her payment via digital card. And if she could get it done.
No.
I mean, come on. What are we talking about?
She tell you she's take transport.
Listen to me. You even ain't got to swipe it, you can tap it.
Lord, what is this?
Because she has to safeguard herself from Pookie
I've
them.
heard everything in life now.
But if she could figure that out, and she have a perishable item,
Yeah.
right?
It's going straight to hell.
You don't think, man, that what perishable means.
it's going straight to hell.
You don't think the taxi drivers, them business could evolve? Why Pookie still could pull a gun on you?
They're evolved because they got they got.
So why can you not facilitate the population?
Pricing.
And they only need to charge that price because they ain't catering to a big enough market.
Pricing.
It's basic economics, spiritual advisor.
I agree.
If you increase,
excuse me.
If you increase the market, you could decrease the price. That's why Li Ping could sell you a bear for $3 because he buy 3,000 cases of beer.
Volume.
Yes.
So when you move volume, you can make more.
And you could reduce the price.
Yeah.
But what they want to do is they want to be up by the airport all day, crease up on demand, like T-shape. Rather than build a product that actually caters to Bahamians. And then they let the president come on the TV and talk silliness about blocking up airport and blocking a bridge. While the government signing 58 agreements in 4 years. Man, I won't be giving me a break. Anyway, don't move. It's Freedom March. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. Bradley Rowell, the spiritual advisor extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is with me. And you say don't case Obi no more.
Obi Ferguson, you caused me to catch plenty unnecessary heat in the studio. All right, number one.
I just asking you to explain this behavior to
You're
me.
too old for the job.
Oh boy.
You need to quit and go home.
But he ain't gonna do that.
And let,
so they have to. So what they have to do is they have to force him out of office.
Let a younger, brighter mind.
No, he's a king's counsel. I don't assume he's not intelligent. I'm saying that he is his temperament appears to be mercurial. He seems to be irrational in his judgment. He seems to be hot-tempered, if you ask me. Because we put pugnacious in there as well.
Let me say this. You need to find out
He lacks measure.
how old he is. Because let me say this to you.
Him and Brave the same age.
But see, as men get older, they tend to act differently. They think differently. They're not the same people. When you get older, you're not the same person. Unless you're extraordinary, like some folks who, even though they're old, they still can think, they still can act, they still can make perfect decisions. And we have some exceptions. But in his case, his time may have passed.
I'm very happy that you said that.
His time may have passed.
Yeah. Maybe he's spent. Yeah. Want to read this ad?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's read that.
Hey, Bahamas, ready to turn the event into a party? Royal Inflatables have you covered. Brand new bounces to water slides and combo castles. Fun is guaranteed for all ages. The equipment is clean and inspected daily, safe, spotless, and ready to go. So enjoy free setup and take down on-time delivery and 100% hassle-free service. Perfect for birthdays, school events, or any celebration. So call or WhatsApp now at 242-468-7268 to book. Let the bounce party begin. The Work Center, located on Rosetta Street across the road from Robert's Furniture, is your one-stop shop for back to school. Dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. So come on down and let their friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back to school. Thank you, producer.
Thank you very much, spiritual advisor.
Indeed.
And so, what time is it? 5:04?
Yeah.
Do you want to go to birthdays?
You ready, producer, for birthdays?
All
right, yeah, let's do birthdays. And maybe we can discuss, too, what I've seen happening over the last couple of weeks. All of our school children returning back to school will get plenty help, because I see a lot of ads and advertisements coming from private companies and charitable organizations and also MPs about these back to school giveaways. So there shouldn't be a child.
Well, they certainly should have all the school bag they need, because everybody got school bag.
They should have at least 2 or 3 school bags this rush. All right, so we'll do some birthdays. Jay Passetti, I would like to wish the Prince of Dunmore, J.J. Passetti, over in Briarland, a happy birthday. It's coming from your mom, Valerie, your brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, all of us, the rest of the family, especially the back road ladies. They want you to enjoy your birthday. So happy birthday to Jay Passetti. Leslie is having a birthday. Happy birthday to Leslie, coming from her mom, Bridget, and family and friends. Also, Shantika Brown, happy birthday to an amazing mother, daughter, sister, aunt, niece, and cousin. You're beautiful inside and out, and life's brighter with you in it.
That sounds like the wrong message.
Really?
Yeah. Who are you reading?
Oh, sorry. All right, Shantika Brown. Happy birthday to Shantika Brown. Forgive me, please. Please forgive me.
Because you call this woman all kind of things. Mother, cousin,
Now,
auntie.
Shantika Brown, I don't have anything other than Shantika Brown.
I actually know Shantika Brown. Yes, today. Didn't it say happy birthday to Shantika Brown? Well, let me tell you, I know Shantika Brown. I've known her for about 20 years. And on last evening, I got the wonderful opportunity to join her as she brought in her birthday over there at, what was the name of the place? I'll think about the place in a couple of minutes. But it was a wonderful little get-together. And on my way to go and meet her, I actually met another lady because I had to go get some wings, spiritual advisor. And the woman told me, say, Levan, I want to buy you. Yes.
Red Bull? Red Bull is give you wings.
No, I don't drink that.
Okay.
So the woman told me, Levan, I want to buy you a beer, but I hear you don't drink odd number beers. I say, my dear, for you, I'm going to drink an odd number beer tonight, and you get to buy me one. And she was so kind. She bought me a beer. It was wonderful. I had a great time. And then I ran over And what am I saying? I'm 40. I forget things sometimes. Oh, yes. And then I ran over because, Shandika was having a birthday, little get-together thingy at a place named Caribbean Legends or something. It was pretty good. It was actually very good. It was wonderful and clean, and it's actually pretty good. You should check it out. And so, yeah, I know. I think she's almost off of the calendar or just get off the calendar, something like that. So happy birthday, Shandika Brown, who I realize now how young she must have been when I met her, because I feel like I've known her for about 21 years. But she ain't 40 yet, and I don't understand that, because I'm 40. Yeah, but it's her birthday, and so happy birthday to her. All right?
Indeed. So we want to wish Angie a happy birthday. Happy birthday to an amazing mother, daughter, sister, aunt, niece, and cousin. You're beautiful inside and out, and life's brighter with you in it. We're so lucky that you're ours. It's coming from your son, Molly, your mom, Brenda, your siblings, Sherelle and Keno, your aunts and uncles, and all of your cousins. So happy birthday to Angie. We love you. And Angie, a special happy birthday to you from me. All the best to you, and I hope you live to enjoy many, many, many more.
Also, spiritual advisor, while I'm thinking about it, I think today is also the birthday of Prime Minister Christie.
I don't know. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a picture of Mr. Christie. Put up a picture of Mr. Christie, because how could I not remember Christie's birthday? You know, there is a phrase that I stole from Christie. Look this phrase up as well at some point, right? Christie called Charles Carter a veritable tour de force. Yeah? I say, my God, what Christie called the man? Christie said, Augusta Street Charles Carter, when we had estimated his value in his contribution to the lives of Bahamians and all he had done, and how he was able to archive the history of the Bahamas, I had deduced in my mind that Charles Carter, and I did this as Prime Minister, because 3 things Christie never let you forget in no speech. 1, he named Perry Christie. 2, he was Prime Minister. And 3, whatever that is you got it because he was able to do it for you as Prime Minister. Christie will never let you forget that. And so I said to my colleagues in the cabinet as Prime Minister, I said, what will we do for a Charles Carter, Augusta Street Charles Carter? And we made the decision that we would give him a knighthood. And so he became Sir Charles.
So today is Christie's birthday?
Yeah.
I also see on social media, if I'm not mistaken.
Him campaigning with Dr. Minnis?
No, that today could possibly be the wedding anniversary of the Prime Minister and his wife.
That's possible.
We'll confirm that.
But you can't interrupt Christie birthday shout out for that.
Happy birthday,
and so I want
Prime
to
Minister.
say happy birthday to a veritable tour de force.
PGC.
The one and only Perry Gladstone Christie, who I argue, if Perry Christie was born in a bigger population, I believe that if they gave him an opportunity to speak, Christie would convince us that he should be king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a good orator.
Christie would convince you all that when you consider these things and how extraordinary they are, and you think about the things as Prime Minister that a Prime Minister must consider, you say to yourself, you turn sometimes to your Attorney General, and then you say to the Attorney General, Madam Attorney General, what should a Prime Minister do? And these are the considerations we must make in these times and in these periods when governments, they have to do and act on and before, or before and on behalf of the people of the Commonwealth. And so I say on my behalf. And at one point they used to let me say, and on behalf of the Bahamian people. But I don't get to say that no more, but Philip Davis gets to say it now. Yeah. But if Christie was born to a bigger population, I tell you, he would convince us that he should be king. And so, Mr. Christie, happy birthday. And I hope you continue to live to be as strong and as healthy as ever. And so to a veritable tour de force, the one and only Perry Gladstone Christie, happy birthday. And I hope, it is my wish, that as his hair continues to finally turn white.
What color was it prior to that?
Ox blood.
Burgundy?
It wasn't black.
Okay.
But as his hair begins to turn white, it is my hope that Christie would grow the beard of 78. You remember when he had the beard?
I don't remember. Well, that's been years and years and years ago.
And I think he should grow it back.
Years
Because
and
could
years
you
ago.
imagine Mr. Christie with a white beard? He might even be able to make a fourth run for Prime Minister.
Fourth run?
Yeah.
How much times he said?
He gone in 02, that was a run. He run in 07, that was a run.
Oh.
He run in 12,
Oh.
that was a run. So fifth run. Because when we consider these things as Prime Minister, yeah, I just want to hear him say it again as Prime Minister. It'll be so fantastic.
All right.
All right, you want to open the phone lines? No, I want to play the clip from, let's play the clip from Belinda Wilson. Because even Belinda ain't cussing out the government. But somehow, Obi is so hot and bothered that he won't shut down the airport. Can you think about that? Can you imagine that?
So he's committed the embezzlement, isn't he?
Play the clip from the other union president, please.
Well, Bahamas Teachers Union President Belinda Wilson renewing criticisms tonight against trade union Congress leader Obi Ferguson, who she says is crying over spilled milk in relation to a pre-election memorandum of understanding that remains a bone of contention for government and the TUC. Ferguson reportedly brought up the MOU in a recent meeting with his members, sounding off on his existing grievances. However, Wilson is of the view that Ferguson's displeasure is personal, while insisting, however, that the pre-election document signed by the then opposition Progressive Liberal Party should be honored by the now governing party.
The Memorandum of Understanding and the articles therein, the Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress and the Bahamas Union of Teachers, we agree with. Let me be clear on that. We agree with. What we disagreed with is the manner in which our leader signed off on a document that we had no information about it. Mr. Ferguson seems to have fallen out of grace with the Prime Minister, who is meeting with one-on-one to try cut his deals. So like I said before, whatever his expectations were, they were not met. However, we, as our Congress, every time we meet with the Prime Minister, with the Minister of Labor or whomever, we stress to them that we want the legislation done. We want, like the hotel union, to be a part of when they're putting together the heads of agreement. We want them to look at the entertainment sector. So the Memorandum of Understanding is a very good document. But it will not be effective unless and until the government keeps up their part of the bargain.
And so, you hear it from Belinda. You hear it from Belinda. I don't understand how and or why Obi would be making all this noise. Obi say the memorandum was a wonderful memorandum. She love it. She love it to death. This is the best memorandum she ever see. Right? But somehow, she said they was having these little tiptoe meeting. I know what happened. All I know is it appears as though Obi and the PM ain't cozying up no more. And now, Obi threatening things like closing down the airport. And I mean, it's at some point you have to consider it ridiculous, eh?
Indeed.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. 323.
7775 is the number to call. 698-0775, 698-0776. That's 323-7775, 698-0775, and of course 698-0776. When you're ready, you can call us. 323-7775, 698-0775, and 698-0776. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You are live.
And you see,
are you there,
see how we letting the people call in early?
Mm-hmm.
So when I don't
let 5:15.
So when I don't let them call in early, I don't want y'all fighting me, because I just let them call in early, and they don't ever say, "Wow, Miller, we appreciate you so much for letting us call in early."
Welcome to Freedom March, call you live.
Good afternoon to both. Good afternoon to both of you.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Can I take it back on the scripture that was read earlier?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Brother Miller and Brother Rowe, until we as men connect ourselves back biblically to God, we will not understand this gender war that is being designed in the world by a group of liberals who have issues with God and telling God that he made a mistake. I heard a group of liberals on another show this morning confused, and they represent the spirit of Jezebel. And as if you know the Bible, the history about what Jezebel did in Israel.
Yeah.
Marriage is a covenant, and the covenant is designed by God.
That's
His
the point.
principles will never ever change.
Right. See, now that's the point a lot of people are not understanding. And we need to drive that home. It is fortunate, though, that it is designed by God and not by man, because if it's designed by man, then there'll be no standard. So you make a good point. Continue.
So let me use this temporal view. There is a deadline that you have to pay a bill. And if you don't pay that bill that you agreed to on the date of that bill, then what happened to that bill? Interest would be added. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or possibly you could be turned off.
Or you will be disconnected.
Right.
So it's the same, that's a temporal point of view. That is the same covenant that God instituted in marriage. But a group of liberals now want to come with their theory that represents Jezebel to cause confusion in marriage. And this is why we have a group of poorly socialized children. And this will be very irresponsible of me saying. But we have these liberals now only pursue men for economic convenience just to get a child. And they disregard the covenant.
Oh, you preaching in here today. You preaching in here today. Keep going, preacher.
And there's some who married into use marriage, disregard the covenant, and they all about their personal interests.
Yeah.
So until brothers connect themselves back to God, we will be in a bad place, because they will use theory to twist it, turn it, but never remember the principle never ever change.
And that is fascinating, Carla, because what it seems as if has happened, it seems as if the liberals are now sending their students to Bible classes to see if they can find a way to distort or misrepresent the Word of God. And in doing so, they're doing it to their own destruction, because you can't change the principles or the parameters of marriage. It's already engraved in stone. It's there. It's set. So they make
what make it so bad? We have in this country a bunch of liberal pastors now who are on board with them.
Yeah, they're not
we have some talk show hosts with effeminate tendencies are on board with them. But there is a particular brother that I heard who I believe really can address this issue. And I don't know why sometimes he gets a little quiet on this issue. I never met him, but I heard him a few times. Reverend Cedric Moss. I think he is well voiced on this particular subject matter.
Yeah, Cedric is a bright fellow. I know Cedric personally.
I think he have studied them. He have studied them. I heard him a few times, and I was very much impressed in the terms of biblical scripture and how he supported. But this gender war is created by this group of confused liberals who represent Jezebel.
But we must fight against them.
Was about confusion.
We must fight against them nevertheless. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you, Amos.
Take care. Appreciate it.
I think Cedric is a little super laugh, but, you know.
He's well read, though. Welcome to Freedom March, Carla. You're live.
Hello.
Hi.
You're live, Carla.
Spiritual.
Yes, sir.
Levan.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, man?
Good shape.
I called to agree with my brother who just called just now, Dr. P, to a certain extent. But life is very, very, very simple, you know. This is a big planet, and we got to share this planet with everything what come this way. Okay, so my simple philosophy or solution to the problem is Bob Marley. Every man has a right to decide his own destiny, you know. See, I ain't fighting you for what you want to believe in. The only time you can get another boy Janet to fight you is when with what you believe in, you trying to get me to believe. You crossing me.
Yeah, but
that's the only problem I have, you know.
Yeah, but don't distort the word of God for the sake of your own benefit.
Listen, they demons. What you think they can do? That's what I'm telling you. They demons. You hold fast. Because they can try to distort you. That's their job. What you say, Levi?
I agree. I agree.
I got you.
You know, but I agree with Dr. P in that I think, believe me when I tell you, I think there is a lesbian agenda that is afoot around here.
Yes,
that is perpetuating hate for men.
Yes, it is.
And it is bastardizing the nuclear family in this way. It is amazing. I spent during my stint in the military, my last 14 months before I tendered a resignation was spent in the courts. And there was an interesting phenomenon that I always observed, that a man and a woman could be married for 7 years, right? That the woman married the man. In year 3, they had the first baby. In year 5.5, they had the second baby. And by year 6, the petitioner, 70 or 80% of the times the wife, was asking for a divorce. And so it became my anecdotal position that the only thing this woman came in this marriage for was these children, because, you know, Bahamian women like to be, they like to have the appearance of goodliness, right? So Bahamian women find great joy in saying, child, I had all my children for my husband. But look around, you can't find a husband nowhere. Yeah, and so I think that it is let me tell you what else I found. You know, this might shock you to death. But as I move around in my capacity as a local community watering hole ambassador, right?
Yeah.
I have conversations and dialogue all the time with people. And it is astounding to me the amount of women between the ages of about 24 and I would say about 34 or 5 who will admit that their first sexual encounter was with a woman. And I've had many of them tell me that their parents did such a masterful job at protecting them from the boys that the whole time it was the girls they was just having the sex with.
Wow.
And that is and we have to look at how that will socially affect us. You follow me?
That's life, man.
It has already.
Yeah, and so I'm always I think the proliferation of what I call hate we see towards men is because we live in a society now of a bunch of woman-loving women. And look at them. They do the cosmetic surgery, right?
Yeah.
These bodies so big and thick, man can't even use them no more. You are not doing that for a man. You doing that to get the attention of women.
Listen, when you finish, I will leave the spiritual advisor and you with this one thing. Go ahead.
But listen, GNN, I want to ask you a question because maybe I'm out of
Go right ahead,
this. At my age, you know what I noticed? There's a growing trend, and I've been noticing it as I travel. Mm-hmm. Why is it that a lot of young females are engaging in intimate relationships with one another? What is going on with the connection with the young females? It seems
they have convinced themselves that men are not useful.
Oh wow! It is.
Yes.
It is a very fast-growing trend.
Which is crazy.
A lot of young females are engaging in relationships with one another.
Yeah.
Listen,
why are you doing
I can leave you all too.
Go ahead, Gianna.
Go ahead.
I can leave you all too with that because I strictly believe in scriptures now. If you don't understand scriptures after you've been reading all your life, then something ain't right.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, we got to go to the break. I thought he had another point. Don't move. I'm Levan Miller. This is Freedom March. We're on 103.5 The Beat FM. We'll be right back after this break. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levin Miller. You're listening to us on channel 103.5, The Beat FM, channel 224, that's cable, channel 112, that's Flow, and of course on ILTV studios. But wherever you're choosing to listen, thank you so much for listening to us. And I don't say that if you're already listening, because you know our call signs. Call your friends, tell your friends that other stuff is nonsense. Come over here and listen to us on Freedom March, where the goal is very often to inform, to educate, and entertain. I'm joined in studio by the spiritual advisor, extraordinary and plenipotentiary, the spiritual advisor for the whole Bahamas, I'm told, Bradley Rule. But let's go to Tanya. Hello, Tanya. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller, and good afternoon, spiritual advisor. It's your girl Tanya coming to you live from Shop Smart Department Store. Your miracle right here at number 122 Mackey Street, where we say we're here for you for whatever season of your life and for everyday living. And we are in the season of back to school. Yes, all of the smart shoppers are coming into Shop Smart to take advantage of not only our 20% off everything back to school, but they are in here taking advantage of our back to school sweepstake. If you are a smart shopper, all you need to do is come on into Shop Smart and spend a minimum of $25 on back to school items, and you'll be eligible for one of our sweepstake drawing. We do drawings every Saturday in the month of August. We have 4 fabulous prizes. The first prize, second prize, third prize, fourth prize, all valued at $500 each. You can get yourself a $500 BPL voucher. You can win $500 grocery at your food store. You can win $500 gas in your car. Or you can win a $500 shopping spree in Shop Smart. A minimum purchase of only $25 of anything back to school at Shop Smart. Shop Smart, we've also got all of the spray ground backpacks that you need. Come on in, we've got you covered. And with the purchase of a spray ground backpack, you can get yourself 10 free books and 10 free folders. Come on in. Shop Smart is located right here at number 122 Mackey Street, and we're open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for your shopping convenience. Or you can visit us on our website at shopsmart242.com.
Remember, as always, to shop early, to shop often, and to shop smart. Isn't that right, spiritual advisor?
Indeed.
Good, let's go back to the phone line. 323-7775-698-0775. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Are you there, caller? Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
No?
All right. 323-7775-698-0775.
Good afternoon.
Hey, caller.
How are you?
Good.
Mr. Miller?
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Rose?
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, this goes to Mr. Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please break those big words down? Because you have some people that's not educated like me.
Which one of the words you want me to break down? I tried to put them up.
I can't remember them big words.
I tried to put them up. You listen to us on radio or on TV?
All right, turn your radio down first,
please. You listening to us
please.
on radio or you watching us on TV?
No, I in the front room. The TV in the bedroom.
I just was asking. I wanted to know because I was putting them up on the TV. So if you were watching us on TV, I tried to put them up on the TV. Hey.
Oh Lord, they do them words and things. You know, do little small words sometimes.
I can try my best. I can try.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Hi, Joseph wife.
Oh, hey, Joseph wife. Tell Joseph, man, don't kill me. I can call. I promise. Don't kill me yet. Give me one more day. All right.
All right.
323-7775-698-0775. That's the number to get you in. Let's go to the next call. That's the number to get you into the show here at Freedom March. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. No? 323-7775. Hello, caller.
Hi, you can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hi, good evening, Spiritual Advisor. Good evening, Mr. Miller.
Good evening.
Yes, I have a problem with you all saying that the girls down, the young ladies down, being attracted to one another.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to the church, that's right, if you say you go to the church, you find yourself a good man. All the man in the church, and the man side is a woman man.
Sorry, what did you say?
You said all the women them gotta like woman because all the man them liking man. That's what you said.
He must man from the land, the younger generation of the man from the side of them.
Yeah,
You have to go on a date and they more thirsty than you.
Which church that is? Don't go back to that one. Go to a decent church or go to church. Whichever church that is you've been to.
I'm from the church of God church, so I'm from church of God too.
They pants
so
tight in there?
Tight pants too.
My God. Wow, this is
so
special.
So what are you saying?
That the woman them have to like woman because all the man liking man.
The man them have to change this appearance. This appearance is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, they wearing tight
pants. And then
pants.
they'll go there and sing and lead praise and worship with their pants tied up like that.
Yeah.
Growing up we grew up in Church of God, ran a Salvation Road Church, and we never wear no tight pants.
No. Men wear man pants.
And women wear modest apparel.
Absolutely, and you're right.
So it seems now everybody becoming lovers of themselves. So man trying to attract man with tight pants, woman trying to attract woman with tight pants, like it's praying time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta pray.
And we agree with you on that one.
Yeah, it's praying time, man. We gotta get inspired. We gotta get back on. See, everybody's following these fashion designers, these fashion.
Yeah.
They mess things and they homosexual.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
The fans dropping down, the person who designed them, they're homosexual, the gangbangers don't realize that.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of
the one trend that I can't get is the skinny leg jeans. With so skinny you could barely get your foot in it, but the waist still big enough to drop off your off your hip. I can't figure that out.
When school open, all you see some boys going to school, they tight pants, no more.
Yeah.
Their two pants to be tight and no. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we gotta fix it though. We seem to have no desire for, or no appreciation rather, for masculine energy, and that's crazy to me. Right?
They gone out the window, man.
Yeah, and women these days appear to be looking for girlfriends. I often tell my friends, right, that y'all couldn't date y'all granddaddy, you know. Y'all know that, right? This generation of woman, y'all granddaddy was gonna kill y'all.
Yes.
Because the amount of sensitivity and compassion and these are feminine words. Men didn't have these things. I have to care. Yeah, granddaddy didn't care. Yet granddaddy understood one thing. He just paid the bills in his house. Don't ask him no question where he going. Don't ask him where he come from. And make sure you have soup cooked when it rain. And that was it. And while I'm not saying that was the best place for life to be, I'm saying that women in this generation, in my view, they want girlfriends. Even if those girlfriends have male fixtures. The things that they are requiring from men emotionally just aren't the things that men naturally have. If you ask the average woman, I don't know, when you go into your spaces, your social spaces, right? Ask the average woman, I would again say between 26 and 36, to describe to you her ideal man and listen to her describe a woman. I want him to be caring, and I want him to have a listening ear, and I want him to like have compassion, and like, want to do stuff. And man don't do that. That's not natural tendencies for a man.
No, it isn't. Huh? No, it isn't. We gotta pray that we
gotta fix it.
This world back, the whole world is
we gotta fix it. We gotta fix it. And I can tell you this, I believe I'm more intelligent and more sophisticated than your granddaddy ever was. But your granny tolerated him for 60 years.
I pray for the young generation. I don't know who these girls gonna marry, but we gotta pray for them.
Yeah, we got some serious issues going on.
Yeah.
And I think that's because we've become so much liberal and accepting of these things that they're just engaging in it.
Yeah.
There's nobody there to really speak on these matters, and I think that's the greatest issue indeed.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much, caller. But I said, find yourself one solid church of God and see, good man come out of the church of God now.
Thank you so much, caller. We got 2 calls waiting.
Let's go. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Doing well.
Your spiritual advisor and Mr. Miller, I just want two different perspectives. You speak about the places that you frequent or that you would go when you listen to these different experiences with these individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then spiritual advisor, you and Dr. P, my good friend, spoke about marriage and what the real meaning of it is. But you know, Dr. Fox, the candidate I think who was running for, or supposed to run for Fox, he was on, I think it was Shanique's show, and they were talking about these different things that's going on, health issues. And he was thinking about these diseases, right? And he was saying that, you know, you don't just look at, as far as gay men or whatever, the norm, you know, they would usually look at these sicknesses. He said you actually have persons engaging couples, heterosexual couples, bringing in a third party, even married couples, bringing in these third parties to engage in these, you understand what I'm saying?
In the Bahamas?
Right? In this here Bahamas,
Wow.
right? You can look, the tape is right there. You can probably look it up, check it on YouTube. And from that perspective, I want you to hear how you feel about, you know, with that aspect of it. You have actual husbands and wives, because I guess they have to agree to it, bringing in someone else in their private, most precious space, right? Engaging in that act.
Oh, that's all
And
they
then
say.
you have, from a younger generation perspective, Mr. Miller, you heard about the baby girl, the 14-year-old child.
Yeah.
That was brutally.
I mean, so horrible. Such a horrible thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you look at these butch, they call them walking around here, women.
Yeah, a lot of them too.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you speak to some of these persons, I would like for you to ask them. Sometimes you don't know their story. You know, you said there's a war on this, a war on that, this liberalization. I agree to a point. But sometimes if you hear the horrific stories, now this child, I pray to God that everybody who has the reach to her, reach out to her, touch her, get to her, you know, help her heal.
Mm-hmm.
Because this experience, they were men that did that to her.
Yeah.
Okay? And, you know, every time, now, when 10 years from now, she looks at a man, she may fall in love with this man, but that factor, the way she looks at men going forward, it's going to be in a different view, from a different lens. So I hope the right people can really, you know, deal with her. And not just her, because there's so many unheard, you know, you don't even hear about the horror stories.
Unheard stories.
Right? So I just would like for persons out there who have the capabilities who deal with these things can really make an outreach. And as far as to these individuals who go through these things that destroys them going forward, even if they bring children into the world, sometimes these children catch eternal hell because of the trauma that they experience from a young age.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that into but thank you, another.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Yeah, no, what happened to that young girl is horrible. I hope that the wheels of justice spin quickly.
This is the one with the grandfather?
No, this is the one with the 3 young boys that held her down.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I hope that the wheels of justice spin quickly for her.
Oh, wow.
And I hope that the arm of the law, the arm of the law has already reached those boys. But if they are found to be in contravention or to be guilty, then I hope that we rest the weight of the law upon them, eh?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Awesome. First time caller.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I just wanted to chime in a little bit. A lot of people, like, there is a difference between tight and fitted. I will carry that argument to my grave.
Sure.
Right? There's tight, whereas, okay, your belly could move, you feel uncomfortable. Then there is fitted, whereas it complements your physique, and it's not showing what God bless you with. And it goes for man or woman.
Sure.
You know, so now some people overdo it.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, that's just my little 5 cents.
I have 2 rules of thumb. You want to hear them?
Yes, sir.
If you cannot bend your back to pick up quarters off of the ground in your pants too tight. If you have to bend at the knee to pick up quarters off the ground in the pants you got on, it's too small.
Exactly right. Affirmative.
And if you are a man and you can't find nowhere in this pants to put the tools within your tool belt, it's too small.
Or if you can't put your wallet in your back pocket, you got a problem.
No, but they making these pocket, they ain't standard no more. But tool have to go in this pants. So you have to make sure that the tools in your tool belt can fit in this pants.
Right? Yes, sir.
And if you can't find no place for the tools in your tool belt to fit in this pants, this pants for people who don't carry tools. All right?
Yes, sir.
That's my 2 rules. So take that with you wherever you go, and you lend that to whomever you think need it. Because I understand fitted pants, right? Some of them are a little too fitted for me. I only can tell you what I call them because that would be inappropriate for TV. But those 2 general rules I find, if you have to break at the knee to pick things up off the ground, that pant's too small.
It is most common, I guess, right now in the schools, preferably the junior and senior high school. Like, something needs to be done because all of these students, I don't know if they have a plug somewhere, because like, sure, they don't buy it like that. They alter these uniforms.
Yep.
And it is a great problem.
Yeah, no, I entirely agree with you.
We blame the school for that.
I entirely agree. How the school ain't alter the uniform? Thank you, God, the school ain't alter the uniform.
For accepting them with it.
Yeah. I want to send a shout out. You know, spiritual advisor, someone said to us the other day on this show that they hope I help out the woman them and the people them because I sitting in this chair. And I tell you, every day of my life, sometimes I'm overwhelmed with it. I try my best to use the influence that we have here to help people. But I am unable to do that without the reach of the people that are in the spaces that they are in. And so I have to say a special shout out, because I often shout out my Island Connect family, because they do what they do in order to make sure I look the way I look. I usually shout out my Kingsman Collection family, because of course, you have to be one of the Kingsmen.
And folks must recognize too, I'm speaking for me, I don't have, or will ever have, or had, the influence that Rodney had with getting things done.
But I will say this to you, that when I reach out to my contacts over at Cable Bahamas, we just fix the people them problem. Now, I know the story of the leopards, you know, they don't always come back to say thank you, and I don't require that. When I reach out to my contacts at NIB, we just get the people problems fixed. And praise the Lord, when I reach out to my contacts at BEC, or Pike, or BPL, or whoever L is, I just get the people problems fixed. And so to my contacts, I'm gonna get the people y'all number. They have to call me in order for me to call y'all. So y'all ain't ever have to worry about them calling y'all, because they just bind up my phone. None of them just never put a little something on the bill, but they just call me at ungodly hours. Right?
All right.
And to the gentleman that I told to come and see me at 2 o'clock, you didn't come at 2. Of course, you know, I monitored the whole place, so I saw you came at 3. I also saw you came back, I think, at about 11. I'm not avoiding you. You're just moving out of the wrong cycle for me, and hopefully we catch up at some point. All right? But hopefully he's watching the show. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. But to my contacts, listen to me. I would be nothing without you all. All that I am is because of you all. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Yes. You stop talking, Mr. Miller, too much and get a job to McDonald's.
I bring my whistle for you, cue my... And listen, on this rainy day, may power fall and may the cloud of fire hit you. That's what I want. 48 hours of fecal matter.
Oh, boy.
48 hours of continuous soft fecal matter. Uncontrollably. That is what I desire. I make sure I bring my whistle today.
Boy.
All right, let's go back to the phone line. As a matter of fact, let me blur it out. That's what I feel like saying to you. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
I got my graphics still queued now. This place ain't making sense. Hello.
Hello. I'm just calling to find out a question. What was the angel Gabriel in charge of when he was in heaven?
What was Gabriel in charge of when he was in heaven?
Tell us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell us.
Again, Gabriel still in heaven?
Tell us.
No, I'm trying to find out which one. Who was in charge of music?
Wasn't that Lucifer?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, I may be calling the wrong name.
Okay.
Do you notice now the music what they are playing now is coming from the devil? That's why all these people getting these kind of free ideas.
You might be right. You might be right. I listened to some of this trap music the other day. Man, and I just wanted to go fight people in the road when I finish.
I tell you, man.
Yeah, you might be on to something.
Yes, man. You have little children in the house playing these funny music and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I really want to just to find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You might be onto something, caller. We'll do some research. Maybe this big building up here, what they keep calling a university, maybe their social sciences department will do some research at some point and then inform us. Because you know what they can say? We just do research. Not because you don't know we just do it, me and we ain't doing it. If a tree fall in the woods and no one was around, does the tree make a sound? Okay. All right, appreciate you, caller. Let's take another one. 323-7775-698-0775.
698-0776. Call us.
Hello, caller. You there?
Hello, you
Hi.
hear me?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Miller and spiritual advisor.
Yes,
Hope you're
ma'am.
doing well.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm calling on, in the Bible say the bed is under fire. So what you do in your bed is not a sin.
Well, listen. In the context,
I agree with you. But let the spiritual. I agree with you. But let the spiritual advisor.
Because if your husband wants and you okay and you all give consent, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
the marriage bed is undefiled. That's what I read in the Bible.
It says the marriage bed should be kept pure, which means that there should never be a third person in the marriage
No,
bed.
it didn't say that.
It didn't say that.
It didn't say that.
It didn't say that. And see.
So
no, hold on. Just give me a second,
swing
ma'am.
from the chandelier in my bedroom with my husband.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. I disagree with you.
Give me a second, ma'am.
Maybe,
Ma'am. Give me a second, ma'am. I want you to go to your Bible and look at the passage very carefully. If you look at the translation that's clear, it says, marriage is honorable among men. Yes, that's God's ultimate expression in relation between man and woman. And it says, and the marriage bed is to be kept pure. Would that make, and then it goes on by saying, all whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. What that actually means is that you have to keep the marriage pure. There should never be a third person involved in the marriage. It says the marriage bed is to be kept pure. You cannot have an adulterous situation going on in the marriage.
A stranger in your marital bed, no.
Pardon me?
You're putting a stranger in your marital bed, no. You're not sneaking.
No, but hold on, caller. Because I like this text. Let me read what it says. And
which version is that?
Hold on, I read in the King James. I didn't tell you I don't read them other things. You was listening to the show from the beginning?
Let's look up the Greek word for undefiled used by the King James Version.
Caller, you still there?
That's what you have to do.
I'm here.
You were listening to the show from the beginning?
Off and on, because I had to pick up my
So at some point, I pointed out to the spiritual advisor that it is interesting to me when I read the letters of Paul, that Paul uses such specific language when he speaks. Because remember, I pointed out that Paul didn't just say keep to our wife, he said your wife, which means he uses very specific language, right? So if a man writes that way, his writing style won't change, right? You know, like how when they selecting write all the speeches for Mr. Davis, I could tell you who write them.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what it says, King James Version, Hebrews 13 and 4. And it says, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
Now,
That's an entirely different group of people.
Thank you.
Right, but what is this undefiled, though? What is this Greek word for undefiled? Hold on.
Maybe, listen.
What's the Greek word for undefiled there?
Sweethearting wouldn't be so strong if you listen to that part of the file. Okay?
Yeah, the marriage bed is to be kept pure, right. I agree with you.
So
no sweethearting involved.
In everyone boring. Everybody wants missionary position.
So the Greek translation is unstained. So let's read it.
Right.
So marriage is honorable and all, and the bed is unstained.
What does that mean?
That means it ain't dirty. It's a clean place.
Oh no!
Man, you asked me to look for the Greek. You know.
What does the word unstained mean? It means to be kept pure.
We know the show me all the time. We'll see you again tomorrow, right here on Freedom March.
What does the unstained mean?